Your Porsche's oil change looks routine, but most owners skip one step that quietly kills the engine. Skip it, and you risk scored cylinder walls, a failing IMS bearing, and a costly rebuild. Here are the 17 things every Porsche owner must do before every oil change. Number 17 is where most owners already get it wrong. Number 17. Know which Porsches. This matters most for. This habit matters for every Porsche, but it matters more for some than others. Early water-cooled models carry the highest stakes here, specifically the 986 Boxster, the 996 Generation 911, and early Cayman and Boxster models built around the M96 engine. High-mileage cars with unknown service history, tracked cars, recently rebuilt engines, and cars you just bought second-hand all belong on this same watch list. So does any engine showing unexplained oil consumption, ticking, knocking, or noises you cannot explain. This does not mean every Porsche in this group is fragile, and it does not mean every trace of debris equals an engine rebuild. It means Porsche ownership works best when you act like a custodian of the engine, not just a driver of the car. A custodian checks the evidence at every single service. A driver only checks it after something has already gone wrong, which is exactly the wrong order for catching a problem while it is still cheap to fix. That watch list gets longer fast. Number 16. Stop following random mileage rules. From the internet, do not change your oil based on some generic mileage number you read in a forum. Use the exact maintenance plan for your specific Porsche, your specific engine, and your specific region. You can shorten that interval sensibly for heavy track use, short trips, or harsh conditions. But the baseline should always come from Porsche's own documentation for your car, never a rule of thumb borrowed from another model entirely. A number that applies perfectly to a daily driven Cayenne can be dangerously wrong for a track-focused 911, and copying it across models is exactly how owners end up stretching intervals that were never designed to stretch. Keep a physical or digital copy of your specific maintenance schedule in the glove box or on your phone, so you are never guessing or relying on a number you half remember from a video you watched months earlier. Your exact interval isn't a guess. Number 15. Know your exact service interval. Track-oriented models carry stricter requirements. The 911 GT3, the GT3 RS, the S/T, the 718 GT4 RS, and the Spider RS all require an oil service no later than 20,000 kilometers or 12,000 miles, or 1 year, whichever comes first. These track models also require documentation of high load detection mileage, meaning the time you actually spent pushing the engine hard needs to be tracked and recorded, not just the total distance on the odometer. This distinction exists because a car spending most of its miles at sustained high RPM on track ages its oil far faster than the same distance covered on a normal commute, and the maintenance schedule reflects that reality rather than treating every mile as equal. Most other Porsche models commonly follow a 12,000 mile or 20,000 kilometer interval or a time-based interval instead. Always confirm the exact number for your VIN, rather than assuming your friend's Porsche shares your schedule. Wrong oil undoes everything else. Number 14. Never guess the oil specification. Do not use an oil viscosity or specification just because it happens to be popular online. Your engine was engineered around a specific approved specification, and using something else, even something expensive, can leave your engine underprotected. Manufacturers list an approved specification for a reason, and skipping it to save money or to follow a trend from a video is one of the easiest ways to quietly shorten your engine's life. Check the owner's manual or the oil filler cap itself before you buy anything, and if the label on the bottle does not clearly state that it meets your exact approved specification, put it back and find one that does. A slightly higher price for the correct specification is nothing compared to the cost of an engine running on oil that was never designed to protect it properly in the first place. Prep starts before you touch anything. Number 13. Warm the engine the right way first. Drive the car normally until the oil is properly warm before you begin the service. Warm oil flows better and carries contaminants in suspension instead of leaving them stuck to internal surfaces. Do not rev the engine hard right before service just to heat it faster. A normal drive is enough. Then let the car sit briefly so you can work safely, because oil at full operating temperature is genuinely hot enough to burn you. A few minutes of cooling still leaves the oil warm enough to drain quickly and cleanly, while giving you a safe margin against splashing hot oil onto your hands or arms while you work underneath the car. Once the oil is flowing, timing becomes everything. Number 12. Catch a midstream oil sample. If you use oil analysis, never grab the sample from the first oil that comes out or from the final drips. The first stream can carry material that settled near the drain plug, and the last drops are not representative either. Catch your sample from the middle of the draining stream instead. This midstream sample gives a far more accurate picture of what has actually been circulating through your engine, and it is the exact method recommended by Porsche Club of America's own guidance on oil analysis. A sample means nothing unlabeled. Number 11. Label every sample properly. Write down the vehicle model and model year, the engine type if you know it, the current mileage, and the miles or kilometers on that specific oil. Add the oil brand, viscosity and specification, whether the car has been tracked, whether the engine consumes oil, and whether it has had a recent repair or rebuild. One report alone tells you very little. The real power comes from comparing several reports over time and watching for a trend, not from panicking over a single number. Let me say one thing, and then I will not bring it up again. I have gathered these secrets and much more in a book over theporschegeek.com. If you want it, it's in the comments and on the right side of the screen. That's all. Let us go further with the video. Number 10. Understand what oil analysis can and cannot tell you. Oil analysis is a monitoring tool, not an engine health certificate. A clean report does not prove your engine cannot fail later. A concerning report does not automatically prove a specific bearing or component has already failed. What matters is watching wear metals, fuel dilution, silicon contamination, and coolant-related indicators across multiple services. If iron, aluminum, and copper stay stable across 3 services, that is reassuring. If copper suddenly spikes and the filter also shows metallic debris, that changes everything. A published Porsche Cayman S oil report from Blackstone Laboratories illustrates exactly this approach, comparing measured wear numbers against a universal average for that same engine type and mileage range, rather than treating any single figure as a verdict on its own. That is the entire point of tracking this over time instead of reacting to one report in isolation. Fuel dilution and viscosity breakdown numbers deserve the same treatment, watched across services rather than judged in isolation, because a single elevated reading can easily reflect a short trip pattern that month rather than a genuine mechanical problem developing inside the engine. Grab the wrong tool, ruin everything. Number 9. Never cut the filter with a grinder or a hacksaw. Use a dedicated oil filter cutter, never a hacksaw, a grinder, or a cutting disc. Those tools generate their own metal shavings, and those shavings will land directly on the evidence you are trying to inspect, contaminating the exact thing you are trying to read. A single pass with a grinder can scatter enough of its own metal dust across the media to make a perfectly healthy engine look like it is shedding bearing material, which sends you chasing a problem that never existed. A dedicated filter cutter, by contrast, slices through the outer housing cleanly without introducing any of its own material into the picture, which is exactly why it is worth owning one if you plan to make this a routine habit rather than a one-time experiment. Drain the used filter first, then cut the housing open carefully, remove the paper media, and unfold it flat on a clean white tray or a plain paper towel where every fragment stands out. Cutting it open is only step 1. Number 8. Set up your inspection station correctly. Work under a bright light and wear gloves. Keep a magnet and a clean pair of tweezers within reach before you start. A dim garage light will hide exactly the kind of fine metallic flake you are searching for, and bare hands risk smearing evidence across the media before you have even had a chance to look at it properly. Tweezers let you lift a single fragment for closer inspection without dragging it through the rest of the pile and losing track of exactly where it sat. Keep a second, empty container nearby too, so you can set aside anything genuinely concerning without mixing it back into the rest of the media while you keep working through the rest of the inspection. This setup takes under a minute, and it is the difference between actually catching a warning sign and missing it completely. Now the real evidence appears. Number 7. Learn what each color and shape actually means. Silver or shiny metallic flakes can point to internal mechanical wear. Copper, brass, or bronze-colored particles can point toward bearing-related material or bushing wear, and that specific combination deserves a professional look rather than a shrug. Black or dark brown plastic fragments, especially on M96-equipped cars, can point toward timing chain guide ramp material breaking down. Large glitter-like material or excessive sludge is never something to wave off. Fine grey paste is usually normal wear, especially on an older engine, but everything larger than that deserves a closer look before you decide it is nothing. Photograph anything unusual immediately, because the next oil change will wash away your only chance to compare it against what you find that time. Lay a coin or a small ruler next to anything that catches your eye before you photograph it, since size is often the detail that separates a normal trace of wear from something that actually needs a second opinion. One tool narrows it down further. Number 6. Use the magnet, but never trust it alone. A magnet separates ferrous material, meaning iron or steel, from everything non-magnetic sitting in the same tray. The magnet is not there to diagnose your Porsche in 5 seconds. It exists to help you decide whether what you found could be steel or iron, and whether that means you should stop and investigate further instead of simply moving on. Bright magnetic flakes are not routine. Copper or bronze-colored debris deserves professional diagnosis rather than a guess made in your own garage. Run the magnet slowly through the fine paste at the bottom of the tray too, not just across the larger visible pieces, because the smallest ferrous particles often hide underneath everything else. Wipe the magnet clean between passes and start again if you find anything, so you know exactly which particles attached the second time and are not just carrying over debris from your first sweep through the tray. Skip this and lose the proof. Number 5. Photograph everything before you throw anything away. Take clear photos of the opened filter media. Any fragments placed next to a ruler or a coin for scale, the magnet test itself, the drain plug if yours has a magnet built in, the oil analysis report, and the mileage and oil brand you used. This documented history is exactly what lets a Porsche specialist tell the difference between normal filter media contamination, leftover sealant, timing guide material, and a genuine sign of serious wear developing inside the engine. Without a photo, you are asking a specialist to trust your memory of what a fragment looked like weeks or months later, and memory is never as reliable as a clear, well-lit picture taken on the spot. Keep every photo organized by date and mileage in a simple folder on your phone, because a specialist comparing 3 or 4 services at once needs to see the actual progression, not a random collection of images with no timeline attached. 2 mistakes wait at both extremes. Number 4. Don't panic, but don't dismiss either. Do not claim an IMS bearing problem from a single speck of debris without proper context. That kind of diagnosis requires more than one photo and a guess. At the same time, do not dismiss copper, bronze, repeated metal flakes, or large plastic fragments as normal just because the car still starts and drives fine. Do not post one photo online and treat random comments as a complete diagnosis either. Both extremes, panic and denial, lead Porsche owners to the wrong decision. The right answer almost always sits between the two in a calm comparison against your previous filters and your previous oil reports, rather than a single dramatic reaction to one photo. Give yourself a simple rule before you even open the filter. If in doubt, take the photo, set the sample aside, and ask a specialist rather than deciding on the spot whether it matters. That single rule removes the pressure to make a snap judgment while you are still standing over a dirty tray with oil on your hands, and it keeps the decision where it belongs, with someone who can actually compare it against a real baseline. Overfilling ruins a good service. Number 3. Never overfill when you refill. More oil is not more protection. Use the correct Porsche oil level procedure for your specific model rather than eyeballing it or filling until the dipstick simply looks full. Overfilling pushes the crankshaft into contact with oil it should never touch, and that creates foam instead of proper lubrication, exactly when your engine believes it just received a fresh, protective service. Always check the level on flat, level ground rather than a sloped driveway, and add oil gradually rather than pouring in the entire recommended amount at once, because a car parked on even a slight incline can give you a reading that convinces you to add oil you never actually needed. Wait a full minute after shutting the engine off before you check the dipstick, letting oil drain back down into the pan so the reading actually reflects reality instead of a level still settling from the last few seconds of running. Pull the dipstick, wipe it clean, reinsert it fully, then pull it again for the actual reading, since a single quick check without wiping first can easily give you a false high reading. Sometimes your garage isn't enough. Number 2. Know exactly when to call a specialist. Call a Porsche specialist if the same material keeps showing up across multiple oil changes, if you see visible flakes rather than fine paste, if an oil analysis trend suddenly turns abnormal, or if you notice engine noise, smoke, an oil pressure warning, or unexplained oil consumption. The same applies to any car with unknown service history or one you purchased very recently. Waiting for a second or third occurrence before calling someone is how a small, cheap fix turns into a rebuild. A specialist who sees the pattern early can often trace a problem back to a single component, while the same problem left alone for another 2 or 3 oil changes can spread and turn into something that touches half the engine. There is no shame in calling for a second opinion on a filter that looks fine to you but still feels off, since a trained eye that has looked at hundreds of Porsche filters will spot a pattern your untrained eye simply has not had the reps to recognize yet. Everything else built toward this. Number 1. Cut open and inspect the filter. Every single time. This is the single most important habit on this entire list, and Porsche Club of America's own technical material specifically recommends cutting open and inspecting the filter media on M96-equipped cars for exactly this reason. Your oil filter is a low-cost record of everything that has circulated through your engine since the last service. Throwing it away unopened means throwing away the cheapest, earliest piece of evidence your engine can give you. No inspection routine, no oil filter, and no single habit on this list can make an engine truly immortal. But cutting it open, reading what is inside, documenting it, and comparing it against the last service is the closest thing to an early warning system your Porsche actually has. Every other item on this list, the correct interval, the correct oil, the midstream sample, the labeling, the right cutting tool, the magnet, the photographs exists to support this one habit, and make sure the evidence you find here actually means something. Make this a permanent part of your routine, not a one-time experiment after watching a video, and you build a real history for your own engine, one that a specialist can actually read years from now instead of starting from zero the first time something feels wrong. Skip that one step, and every other precaution on this list is working with half the information.